Hello everyone, and today I'll be doing my presentation on atomic models, and I really hope you enjoy. Okay, let's get started. So, the first idea of an atom. The first time the idea of an atom was introduced was all the way back in 400 BCE by the ancient Greek philosophers Lysippus and Democritus. I think that's how you pronounce it, right? Yeah. Okay. Nice. But wow, that's impressive thinking of something like that long ago, you know what I mean? Okay. And finally, we get to the models. So, let's start off with the very first one, the Dalton Model. This is the first atomic model ever theorized and came from the famous John Dalton in 1803. He thought of them as smooth, tiny spheres with no deeper components, which would look a lot like a billiard ball. So, here's the model right here. Here's John Dalton. And then, here is the billiard ball. Oh, pretty nice, I know. The Thomson Model. This one was made by J.J. Thomson 7 years after he discovered the electron in 1897. He believed of an atom being a tiny spherical cloud of positive charge, while electrons would be scattered all around inside of these clouds, which would kind of resemble that of plum pudding. Yummy. Like, I've never ate plum pudding, you know what I mean? But it does kind of sound delicious, you know what I mean? I don't think I ever even had a plum. So, you know what? Maybe I should try plum pudding, yeah. This variant was made around 101 years after Dalton's in 1904. Wow. Yeah, it's pretty nice. The Rutherford Model. I think that's how you pronounce it, yeah. About 7 years after Thomson's model, a new one would be made by Ernest Rutherford in 1911. This model was extremely far from any other design, as instead of electrons inside of a positively charged cloud, it was now electrons orbiting a positively charged nucleus in narrow oval paths, which made this one look kind of like a beehive. So, yeah. And now we go to the Bohr Model. In 1913, the Bohr Model was made by Niels Bohr? I feel like I butchered that. Sorry if I did. Which had circular orbits and a much higher amount of orbits than the Rutherford model. This model looked much like our own solar system. Kinda does, you know? Looks pretty nice. I love the solar system. The Schrodinger Model. And finally, last but definitely not least, we have the Schrodinger Model, made by Erwin Schrodinger in 1926. This model represents electrons existing in a sort of probability cloud instead of orbitals. The denser and darker the area is, the more likely you will find an electron somewhere around there. This is now considered the most accurate representation of an atom in the world ever since that fine day conjured up by the brilliant mind of Schrodinger. Also, it looks like an eyeball. Yeah, like, look at that. Like, look what I was saying. It looks like an eyeball, you know what I mean? Fun facts about atomic models. Fact number 1. Did you know that the word atom comes from the Greek word atomos, meaning indivisible? Man, Greek words are so cool. Well, yeah, that's a very good name. But the thing is that we now know that atoms aren't indivisible, right? Because if they were indivisible, that means it would just be solid. It would just be that, just like a billiard ball. But there's components like electrons, protons, and neutrons, right? And quarks making up those protons and neutrons. So we know that they're not exactly indivisible, but the elementary particles, so far as we know right now, are indivisible. But that could change. Just like the idea with how atoms, we thought they were indivisible, So fact number 2. Did you know that the Dalton model is now 220 years old? That's old. Sorry. But wow, that was a while ago, because again, it was made in 1803. So yeah, pretty nice, And the end. Well, I really hope you guys enjoyed, because I certainly did. I thought that the history of this was very interesting, especially how we didn't even have particle accelerators or anything to do with atoms in ancient Greece or in any civilization, and we had the imagination to think, to believe, and to theorize that there is such thing as atoms. And I think that's really impressive, because that just shows humanity's imagination and creativity and how massive it is. And I really appreciate that, because it's good to have a vast imagination, because that's how most theories are made. The most simple yet groundbreaking theories are made by evidence and imagination. That's what I think. At least me, I don't know. But yeah, and to see the evolution of it and the more and more greater understanding, yeah, I think that's very nice, So yeah, I love it a lot, and I hope you loved it too. Okay, now have a great day. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.